the verse refers again to Vamandev, and at the same time to him as Ananta. So he starts to present this like kind of paradoxical connection. He's Ananta unlimited, but he's a dwarf. He's an unlimited dwarf. No? And that's why immediately the word Adbhutam is mentioned. Adbhutam means like astonishing. Huh? How can you reconcile someone being an unlimited dwarf? So all these paradoxes coexist simultaneously in the Supreme Lord, and we have to, again, become accustomed to coexist with paradox. I mentioned that in my book on radical personalism, because sometimes we don't want to deal with paradox. It's too unsettling. And we want like, okay, is he a dwarf or is he unlimited? No, both at the same time. And it's like, okay. And another interesting paradox is mentioned here, which is, okay, everything is inside the body of God. God is inside of everything. Everything is inside of God. I mean, to really grasp this truth, you really need to, or we really need to, sorry, I have to include myself in the equation for sure. We really need to learn to see things from another place, basically. No? And the Bhagavatam is constantly inviting us to do so. Everything is inside the body of God. God is inside of everything. Just try to pause for a moment and enter into that meditation. That's technically called panentheism. Panentheism, not pantheism, but panentheism, which means everything in God. Pan, everything in theism, theos, God. This is not pantheism, and this is not theism. This is panentheism, and that's another way of saying Achintya Veda Veda Tattva, basically. Everything is one and different from God. God is in everything, everything is in God. Pantheism means the world is God. So by saying the world is God, somehow you start to worship the world as God, literally, and you will take care of the world. So we win back the world. Now we are losing the world. Now we are losing the world, and there's a big ecological crisis. And I will say one of the main reasons is certain forms of theism, which posit God over there above the clouds, and posit this world as completely profane and disconnected from a divine source. So that makes us see this world in non-sacred terms, and then we have the ecological crisis we have. No? All that due to theism, certain form of it, no? Where God is transcendent but not immanent. God is very far in some future time instead of being right here, right now. And for us, God is both transcendent and immanent at the same time. So pantheism, theism, that type of classical theism is God is there and the world is here, and there's a huge gap between the two. So the sacred is above the clouds, and whatever has to do with dirt and mud is profane. But I quote one author in my book. She says, there are no... Simon Weil, she says, there are only sacred things and desecrated things. There are no profane things. Everything is sacred, but if you don't have the proper vision, you will desecrate the sacred, but nothing is profane. Because as we mentioned the other day, I mean, shoot the exhibitions in every atom to begin with. Establish that foundation. How you can see something as profane. But some tendency of classical theism will create this gap, this abyss. So we have this huge ecological crisis. Pantheism is, okay, no, classical theism is we win God, but we lose the world. Pantheism is we win the world back, but we lose God as a separate person. God became the world. And panentheism is our ideal synthesis with when we don't lose any of the two. No? Because God is in everything and everything is in God.